This is the second video for this lesson, so if you haven't watched the first one, be sure and go back and do that one first, because this one won't make much sense otherwise. And like I said, these are the trickier kinds of problems to do, but they're not awful. You can manage this. So I just wanted to do a couple of examples of multi-step problems. So we said with those you need to do your steps in order. That's very important. And then be sure and subtract after each step that you do. So it's always a good idea, like we were doing before, to map out the problem with a heating or cooling curve. So what mass of water will vaporize when 225 kilojoules of energy are added to 500 milliliters of water at 28 degrees Celsius? Now notice a couple of things. There's a decimal place here, which means all of those digits are significant. And that's the only reason that decimal place would be there. The other thing is this does not give you a mass. It gives you a volume of water in milliliters. But water is unique because there is 1 gram for every milliliter. And the reason for that is the metric system is based on the mass and volume of water. So it's kind of set equal to 1. So when it says milliliters, which is usually the easiest way to measure water is in volume and not mass, that's the same thing as grams. So milliliters and grams are interchangeable. This is only for the substance water. All right, so this one kind of gives you a hint. We know that we're going to end up vaporizing the water. And so if I think about my heating and cooling curve, I'm starting somewhere here at 28 degrees. I've got to change the temperature, and then I'm going to end up somewhere along this line. It's not going to completely vaporize, but I'm looking for the mass that will actually evaporate. So let me draw my little sketch here. So this is 0 degrees. This is 100 degrees. And I'm starting at 28. And I know I'm going to end up somewhere up here, but I don't know if I'm going to end up like here or almost evaporated or somewhere in between. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. And this x-axis here is energy added. And sometimes we just say time if we're adding energy at a constant rate. So this is what I'm looking at. I have to get from here to here and then figure out how far over on this line I'm going to end up. So the first thing we're going to do is figure out how much energy it takes to get from 28 degrees Celsius up to the point where this water is going to start to vaporize. And so that's what we've been doing all along. That's Q equals mc delta T. So I'm not going to substitute in my energy that's given yet. I want to see what it's going to take to get through this step here. So the energy that it takes is equal to the mass, which is 500 grams, times the constant for water. And again, you'll have these given to you, but it's 4.18 joules for every gram and every degree Celsius. And from 28 to 100, that's a temperature change of 72 degrees Celsius. So that's where this number is coming from, just the temperature change. And so I'm going to get my calculator and figure that out. You can see that. So 500 times 4.18 times 72 is 150,480 joules. 3 sig figs, 3 sig figs, 2 sig figs. So I'm going to round that to 150,000 joules. Now, here is where it's different. This is what we've not done before. We said that we need to take the total amount of energy and we need to subtract what we've used. It's like money. I can't spend it twice. Once I've used it up, it's gone. So this 225 kilojoules is the same as 225,000 joules. And I've used 150,000 joules just to get it to its boiling point. So I'm going to subtract that out, and that's going to give me 75,000 joules. Now, this is a sig fig thing. This number is precise to the 10,000th place. This number is precise to the 1,000th place. So really I can only know this number precisely to the 10,000th place. And this drives me a little crazy too. Probably drives you crazy. But really now I have to call this number 80,000 because of sig figs, which I know seems like it's less correct than if I didn't do that. But that's what I'm going to use. Now, as I said before, this one kind of tells me, it gives me a hint where I'm going to end up. I know that I'm going to end up vaporizing some amount of that water. So I'm going to use this, 80,000. If you had left that 75,000, I would not count it wrong. Don't get too concerned about that, but just trying to keep sig figs at the forefront here. So anyway, 80,000 joules. I know that I need to vaporize it, so again, so you get used to these numbers, you can keep your charts handy. It takes 2,260 joules for every gram that I need to vaporize. And I want to solve for the number of grams, so that's the mass. If you want to put X there or G there, whatever, that's fine. So to solve this, I'm just going to divide both sides by 2260 joules per gram. So this cancels out. I'm going to get the mass of, back to my calculator, well, maybe, back to my calculator now, 80,000 divided by 2260. And that's going to give me 35.3982, etc. to 2 sig figs. That's going to give me 35 grams. And that is my final answer. I'm about to run into my other problem here. So not too bad. And like I said, that one kind of gives you the hint about where you're going to end up, but they don't always do that. So I need to look at another example here. So this one is, what will be the final temperature and state of matter? So I don't know where I'm going to end up. When 75 kilojoules of energy are added to 150 grams of ice at negative 15 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to draw my heating curve here. This is 0. This is 100. That was my cat, if you heard it. It starts at negative 15 degrees Celsius. And again, I don't know how far I can go along this line, but I know it costs a certain amount of energy to get from one place to another. There are a couple of ways to do this. I'm going to show you what I think is the easiest way. And that is just to go from step to step until I run out of energy. Excuse me. Once I run out of energy, I'm going to back up and I'm going to do one of those algebra problems. So the first thing I need to do is go from negative 15 to 0. So that's a 15 degree temperature change of a solid, and so my constant is 2.1 joules for every gram in every degree. So Q is equal to the mass times the constant that we just looked at, 2.1 joules per gram degree Celsius. And this is a 15 degree Celsius change. So back to the calculator. 150 times 2.1 times 15. So just to do that step, it took 4,725 joules of energy. 2 sig figs here and here. So I'm going to round that to 4,700. And again, this is where it's a little different. I'm going to subtract what I used from the total amount that I have. So I'm going to take that 75,000 joules. I've just converted kilojoules to joules in my head there. Minus 4,700. And when I subtract that, I'm going to get 70,300 joules. But again, since this is precise only to the thousands place, I'm going to call that 70,000 joules. This line over that 0 means that that one is significant, my least precise decimal place. So I've got 70,000 joules to work with. I want to see if that 70,000 joules is enough to completely melt the ice. So to get from here to here. I'm going to go back to my chart. That takes 334 joules for every gram. I've still got 150 grams. I'm just going to multiply that out. 150 times 334. I get 50,100. 2 sig figs there. So I'm just going to round that to 50,000 joules. The line means that that 0 is significant. So I'm going to subtract again. So that 70,000 joules that I had available after I did the first step, I've now used 50,000 more joules to completely melt that ice. So I've got 20,000 joules remaining. Now I want to see if that's enough energy to get from here to here. That's the 4.18. So that 150 grams times 4.18 joules per gram degrees Celsius times a 100 degree change. Back to the calculator. 150 times 4.18 times 100. It's going to take 62,700 joules to get through that part. I don't have 62,700. I only have 20,000. So that tells me, and again, sig figs, that'd be 63,000, that I can't do this step completely. So this is where I back up and set it equal to the amount of energy that I have left. So I only have 20,000 joules. I have 150 grams. I still have 4.18 joules per gram degrees Celsius for my constant. And now I'm solving for the temperature change. So I'm going to divide this side by both of those. I'm running short on time, so I'm not going to write that out this time. But 20,000 divided by 150 divided by 4.18 is 31.897. Again, 2 sig figs. So delta T is equal to 32 degrees Celsius. Now again, that is a change in temperature. That's not technically my final answer, but if I look at where I started here, I started at 0. So this is really 0 degrees plus 32 degrees Celsius. So in this case, it is my final answer just because my starting point was 0. And so my ending point actually is right there. So again, the key here is just work through, subtract until you run out of energy. I can't use more than I have. And when you get to that point, I'm just going to take this amount of energy and plug it in there so I can solve for what I can actually do with the amount of energy that I have. So guys, I hope that's helpful. A couple of examples there to work from. Start those practice problems. If you have questions or problems, we'll talk about them at the Zoom meeting or at office hours, and I'll see you then.